Somebody Call My Mama. It's the A Vision football show. Hello, Jez.
Hello.
Hello, G.
Greetings.
Ipswich 0, Millwall 3. That is a spanking. Can you tell me what on earth happened?
It was an absolutely awful game as far as Ipswich are concerned. The performance was very below par. It was the game that we feared we might see at Portman Road a few weeks ago when there was nothing ready to play for, but Ipswich had done really well, and after Tuesday against Birmingham City we thought it's going to be 3-0 the other way. They got off to an awful start, conceding a goal. Andy Drury had a really good chance to make it 1-1. Had that gone in, we might have seen a different game, but thereafter Ipswich were very poor. Millwall thoroughly deserved the win.
Second best?
Easy.
J. Emmanuel Thomas and Ryan Stevenson coming in, make any difference?
Yeah, not really. J. Emmanuel Thomas was chalk and cheese from Tuesday night. He was absolutely outstanding against Birmingham, but largely anonymous on Saturday. He's kind of the enigma that is Jet, basically. So can be amazing, can be anonymous equally. Stevenson didn't have a great game either. It makes you worry because Lee Martin is our go-to man in that position, and Stevenson played his role on Saturday, but for me, I just didn't really notice him at all. Wasn't too impressed, unfortunately.
Grant Ledbetter misses a second penalty in a row. Am I right? 2 in a row?
I think so.
Mark Venus actually missed 2 in 2 games, I remember, in the promotion season. Blackburn away and Tranmere at home.
Good players make good teams, and we're a good team.
Does he come off penalties now?
No, I don't know. I think he's still one of Town's strongest penalty takers. If you gave it to Jet, he'd probably try and chip the keeper or do so, or backheel it
Dribble
in. Grant's kind of your most solid man from the penalty spot, I think. Agony of choice.
Someone told me once if Noel Quinn had a penalty, he'd try and header it.
He probably would.
Liam Trotter comes back to play an absolute blinder, and we've just been chatting before the show about Ipswich players sold. Kelvin Davis to Dan Harding at Southampton. Jordan Rose scores 8 goals per game in League One for Huddersfield.
Yes, that's right.
Why did this really bad business letting Trotter go?
Yeah, I think so. I did raise my eyebrows at the time. He had a couple of sort of indifferent games when he was with us, but he was a young player coming from sort of local non-league football straight into Ipswich Town in the first team. And yeah, I was, a few off games, but he was a young player learning his trade, and he just seems to have blossomed since he left. He looks to have filled out a lot more sort of physically, so he's very sort of commanding presence that way. He reminds me a bit of Tom Huddleston, actually.
Would he displace Drury or Ledbetter?
I think he'd certainly have a chance, yeah. Based on what I saw of him on Saturday and what I've read about him the rest of the season, I would say he'd be a very valuable addition to our current squad. On
a positive note, although I'm going to be very negative about it, Aaron Cresswell is Player of the Year. You're going to be positive about it, and I'm going to say that's a huge indictment because football is about scoring goals, creating chances, and for your left full-back to be Player of the Year, it means that people haven't performed. Am I being horrible, and can we give some praise to Aaron Cresswell?
I can give lots of praise to Aaron Cresswell. His first full season at this level, he's come from Tranmere, who weren't doing great in League One at the time. He's come up to Ipswich, he's stepped up to the plate. He's had a couple of indifferent performances here and there, Reading, Brighton away, for example, when he was run ragged. But other than that, it's been a very encouraging first season for Aaron Cresswell. He could have a very bright future at this club.
And am I right?
Shame that his season came to an end the way it did, with him pulling his hamstring.
Am I right about the fact that the fullback's Player of the Year means that other people haven't performed?
Possibly. You'd like to see the likes of Emmanuel Thomas do it over the stretch of a season and become your Player of the Year, because that means you're doing well up front. Ipswich haven't.
So Ipswich are guaranteed to finish between 12th and 17th. I need 3 players from you each who are definitely going to start round 1 next season, because from that team, from the starting 11, maybe of the last few games, Jez?
Lee Martin would be 1.
G?
Aaron Cresswell, if he's fit.
Yeah, Andy Drury.
Carlos Edwards, J. Emmanuel Thomas. There's 5.
And I'll go for Chopra.
You do the whole lineup now.
Okay, who's not?
David James in goal.
Who's not going to be there out of that starting lineup? Scotland?
He'll be here, but whether or not he'll start the first
Ledbetter?
game, I'd like him to stay. I don't think he will.
Bowyer?
He's been offered a new contract.
He'll still be here, but he won't start.
Lee Barrett?
No.
So 2 monster football matches this week. We're just going to get the boys' take on each of those. Barcelona v Chelsea. Chelsea played like Stoke in the first leg and won. Barcelona are obviously a rubbish now because they've lost 2 games in a row, having lost the Clasico.
They're the worst team.
Worst team ever. Who's going to come through that.
If Chelsea can hold on for the first half and keep it at 0-0, then Chelsea could just about do it. If they concede an early goal, it could be an absolute paste-in. Get off Drogba's back. He fell over a lot. He's been doing this for years. He scored a great goal in the Cup. Who's going to win? Barca.
Man United v Man City. If Man City now win their remaining games, they're champions. We're at Manchester City for the game. First round, 6-1. Who's going to win?
I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to sit on the fence. City need to win, and like you say, if they win all their games, they are champions. But I just think that know-how and experience that Man United have throughout their squad will be enough to see them through. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
It's like creosote. Sat on the fence.
And then, no, but he was just about to say they're then going to lose at home to QPR on the final day of the season to hand the title over. Thank you, boys. We're going to be back next time, and we're going to do a season review and tell you everything you need to know about what happened this season and what's going to happen next season. You can get us on Facebook and Twitter, and please go to avision.tv for more local media content. Thank you, boys. See ya.